I think we can start now, Martin.
Okay. Ni hao. Good morning, everyone from Dublin. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to today's Sino-Irish Cleantech Digital Roadshow, a key event in the Asia Matters Business Summit. We are delighted to partner with the Embassy of Ireland, the EU SME Centre, and Enterprise Ireland for this important opportunity to connect Chinese and Irish industry stakeholders. Asia Matters is Ireland's only Asia think tank, a not-for-profit and non-political membership institutes with strong partnerships with China. The team and I look forward to returning to China and meet everyone in person again. As we all work together to promote progress at a vital time to protect the health of people and our planet, I look forward to hear the insight of Mr. Gao Jiang from the China Science and Technology Exchange Center. And let me also express my sincere appreciation to Dr. Li Fen from the Shenzhen Institute of Green Building Company Limited and Mr. Patrick O'Riordan, Director China Enterprise Ireland. We hope to have you all virtually join the rest of the Asia Matters Summit, and you may be particularly interested in our China-Ireland business panel with His Excellency Xiang Donghe, Ambassador of China to Ireland, along with CEOs in Ireland of Bank of China, ICBC, and Wuxi Biologics. You're also very welcome to view online our interview with Her Excellency Anne Dermon, Ambassador of Ireland to China, and our Future of FinTech session with our partner, Zhejiang University International Business School. In wishing you all a positive and productive Cleantech Roadshow, may I now hand you over to Mr. Renzo Isler, Director of the EU SME Centre in Beijing.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction, and good afternoon and good morning to all the participants. It is my great pleasure to welcome you today to this virtual roadshow focusing on Irish green tech companies, organized by the EU SME Centre in collaboration with our partner Enterprise Ireland and Asia Matters. The EU SME Centre, as an EU-funded project supporting European SMEs interested in doing business in China, shares knowledge and information with our subscribers in various formats and through different channels, covering a wide range of sectors. We are running our services from both China and Europe since 2010, and we're planning to continue until the summer of 2025, at least. Today, we are zooming in on one of the most promising sectors in China, the green technology. At the 75th United Nations General Assembly, President Xi Jinping clearly stated China's commitment to reach carbon neutrality by 2060. The commitment reflects China's long-term vision of collective global climate action to control the continuously rising of the global temperatures. It also marks China's determination to commit to and invest in this vision. Our analysis shows that to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060, China needs to take immediate action, striving to follow the 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway set in the Paris Agreement, and working towards a 75% to 85% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. China will have to increase investments significantly, develop new technologies, and push for much stronger public awareness of climate issues if they want to achieve this goal. Since a few years, China has initiated a transition in its economic growth from high volume, high speed to one of a higher quality and balanced speed. Its top leaders has proposed a two-step development strategy with the goal of realizing a socialist modernization by 2035 and building a prosperous and sustainable ecological civilization by the middle of the century. China will consequently need to take decisive measures in the energy, industry, transportation, infrastructure, water and wastewater, solid waste management and treatment, and agricultural sectors in order to reach carbon neutrality. This requires decisive policy support and reform mechanisms, as well as effective carbon reduction levers to push sectors upgrading, company transformation, and public awareness. This is a pivotal moment for China, which is currently facing national and international upheaval from the global COVID-19 pandemic. China's policy choices now, both in terms of economic recovery efforts following the COVID-19 crisis and the implementation of its 14th five-year plan, will affect the future global emissions trend for many years to come. Having underlined China's commitment towards green development and environmental protection, it is fundamental to understand and verify which role can be played by the European SMEs and more specifically, in which sector. Ireland is a global innovation partner for some of the world's most dynamic companies, helping to deliver transformative solutions for the green transition. Today, we have the pleasure to present to you 5 Greentech companies from Ireland, allowing you to know more about the Irish Greentech capability and what they have to offer, entering into an exciting yet complex market in China. Today's event serves just as a teaser and a mark of the start of our work. We hope to be able to bring to your attention more interesting, competitive, and ambitious European SMEs, not only in the Greentech sector, but also in other emerging markets in China, which is the ultimate mission of the EU SME Centre. To conclude, I wish to thank the organizers. I wish to thank Asia Matters and our friend at our embassy of Ireland here in Beijing, and our really good friends at the Irish location here. So I really wish all of you great success in this event, and I'm looking forward to listening to what is coming after. Thank you so much for your attention. And back to you, Liam.
Thank you so much, Renzo, for your remarks. Before we go forward, I quickly introduce myself. My name is Liam Jia. I work with the EU SME Centre. I'm glad to be your moderator for today's roadshow. Before we continue with the program, I would like to remind everybody that today, because our speakers will be presenting in both languages, in Chinese and in English, for those who have your preferred language, we have arranged simultaneous translation services for you. At the bottom of the screen, you can select in the channels the language that you would like to hear in, and stick to that channel. 各位线上的观众，我们今天因为讲者会用中文和英文2种语言来介绍，所以我们有同传服务在这个 Zoom 频道里面，在屏幕的下方可以选择你想听到的语言，中文或者是英文。To quickly introduce our program for today, we have also the honor today to welcome our guest speakers from China Science and Technology Exchange Center. Before we move to the focus of today, the roadshow, where companies from Ireland, Greentech companies from Ireland will be presenting their technologies and services. We will also have a short section from Enterprise Ireland, introducing the Cleantech capability of Irish companies, as well as a short introduction of the reports that the EU SME Centre here we are planning to publish, targeting to prepare the European Cleantech SMEs to enter the China market. Later on, we'll also have a half-an-hour session for free discussion and Q&A session, where we also have the honor to invite representatives from Chinese companies and institutions to present their demands and their understanding of the potential of the markets. Without further ado, I would like to pass on the floor to our colleagues at the China Science and Technology Exchange Center. We have the Deputy Director General, Ms. Zhuang Jia, from the China Science and Technology Exchange Center today. Deputy Director Zhuang, the floor is yours.
好的，谢谢主持人。那么首先跟各位说一下，抱歉，本来是我们交流中心的主任高翔先生，是要来参加这次会议。刚才呢，半个小时前有一个紧急的会议，他被叫走了。那么我是交流中心的副主任张佳。感谢刚才Murray 先生和Easter 先生精彩的致辞。各位来宾，大家上午好，下午好。其实呢，我们非常荣幸受邀来参加咱们今天这次中国和爱尔兰的绿色科技路演以及这个行业的交流会。在此呢，我想代表中国科学技术交流中心向会议的举行表示热烈的祝贺。由于疫情的影响啊，我们今天只能是在云端相聚了。但是刚才呢，通过2段热情洋溢的致辞，我们都能够深深地感受到双方希望增加了解、加深友谊、促进合作的这样一个热情。所以呢，我们今天也是衷心的期待通过今天的这个活动呢，能为推动中爱、中欧在绿色科技领域牵手搭建合作的平台、创新的平台。促成新的合作。刚才2位 Murray 先生和 Easter 先生在致辞当中都提到了，我们目前是由于在这个疫情交织的这么一个动荡的时期。那么越是这样的时期，其实呢，各个国家的科技界、工商界都越是对这种合作共赢的这种发展有一个更加迫切的需求。其实我们也想到就是我们习近平主席在这个全球贸易投资促进峰会上，当时是提出了4点建议。第一是要聚力战胜疫情，这是我们共同要做的。第2呢，就是要重振贸易投资。第3回归到我们科技是要坚持创新驱动。最后我们一起来完善全球治理。所以其实这4点这种建议或者说这种希望，就是希望我们能够让中国向世界表达我们扩大高水平开放的这个决心，我们是不会变的。中国开放的大门呢，也只会越来越大。所以这里呢，我也想跟各位专家咱们一起携起手来，我们共同来应对目前所遭遇到的全球的这种挑战，让我们一起走向更加美好的未来。想跟各位专家还有咱们参会者共享的一个消息，一个信息是5月17号，我们呢是召开了第15次中欧科技合作指导委员会。在这次会议当中呢，我们锚定了中欧今后一段时间科技创新合作的新的方向和框架。欧盟呢，绿色和数字双转型和中国的绿色发展、信息化等等战略，这种吻合度是相当高的。为双方加强气候变化、加强绿色技术、农业、食品等领域的合作，提供了非常强有力的基础。所以呢，我们是希望推动中欧的中小企业加强交流、增进了解，在咱们刚才提到的这3个重点领域当中加强合作，咱们呢共同应对气候变化、产业变革。 这里呢也是想跟各位再介绍一下中国科学技术交流中心哈。我们是1982年呢成立的，是中国的科学技术部的直属事业单位。经过了40多年的发展啊，交流中心呢和世界上40多个国家，和这个130多个机构和著名的企业集团呢建立了合作关系。目前我们形成的这么一个合作网络呢，像对美洲啊、大洋洲啊、欧洲、亚洲、非洲等等啊，这么一个非常健全的整体的合作网络。目前我们交流中心的职责呢，主要是4个方面。第一个呢，我们是重大科技外交和外事活动的支撑服务。第二个呢，我们是负责国际和港澳台地区的国际科技创新类的项目管理。那么第3点呢，我们是开展民间的科技交流与合作。第4大块呢，我们也在努力把自己建成科技研究领域的智库。那么目前啊，我们是在积极发挥科技交流的纽带作用，推动中外创新资源的互惠对接。特别是在对欧这个方面，我们也着重跟大家汇报一下哈。我们呢是交流中心创立了对欧的，我们叫中欧科技创新精准合作的云对接这一个品牌活动。从2019年到现在吧，我们与这个瑞士的 Lab，还有奥地利的科研促进署等等欧洲的创新机构，一共举办了6场云对接活动。这些活动，尤其是在疫情期间，起到了非常重要的连接和纽带作用。这些活动呢，我们在中国这一片区域当中，目前是覆盖了粤港澳大湾区，覆盖了长三角地区、成渝经济圈、长江沿岸经济带等等啊，我们是各个区域的创新体系都有所覆盖，参与者呢已经达到了10万人次。发挥了区域创新高地的一个辐射和带动作用，为中欧的创新创业机构在技术合作、联合开发、市场开拓以及渠道建立等等方面，都搭建了一个很好的合作的平台。所以呢，我们也衷心的希望我们能够以今天的这个活动作为一个起点，和欧盟的中小企业中心和爱尔兰的贸科局，还有这个亚洲事务的这个论坛，进一步的加强交流。一个呢，我们想是立足中欧具体的合作需求，我们通过举办研讨会啊、对接会啊这样的多种形式，共同挖掘未来双方合作的优先领域。那么第二个呢，我们也希望能够共同推动中欧的科技合作框架内，我们能够取得更多的务实的成果。今天啊，咱们这个绿色科技路演和这个行业交流会呢，我想就是我们开展合作的一个非常良好的开端。最后呢，我想预祝接下来双方的合作对接能够圆满成功，硕果累累。谢谢大家。
Thank you very much, Deputy Director General Zhuang, for your introduction, as well as the support from China Science and Technology Exchange Center. Coming next, we have Mr. Peter Yang, Manager for Beijing Office of Enterprise Ireland, to introduce to us Irish Greentech capability. Peter, if you hear me, then the floor is yours. Peter, if you hear me, then you can start anytime.
Yeah, hello, thanks Liam. I hope you can all hear me well and see the slides.
Yes.
大家下午好，我是爱尔兰贸易科技局北京办公室的经理 Peter 杨。那今天呢，我代表正在隔离的中国区首席代表欧里顿先生来介绍爱尔兰的清洁科技企业。爱尔兰贸易科技局啊，也就是爱尔兰驻华大使馆的商务处，我们的话呢，负责爱尔兰企业在中国的开拓出口市场。爱尔兰的科研实力大家都众所周知啊，如这个幻灯片所示，我们的企业的创新指数高居欧洲第一，这也得益于爱尔兰国家整个的创新生态系统。 还有我们贸科局啊，实际上我们虽然是政府机构，但我们作为企业化管理，也是全球第1大种子基金。我们对于本土企业的研发和创新上的投资是非常巨大的。贸科局在全球有40个办公室，我们支持超过6000家的爱尔兰本土企业在全球拓展。目前呢，爱尔兰本土企业的全球雇员已经超过120万人，对华年出口额呢超过10亿欧元，是为数不多的对华贸易顺差的国家，也足见这个国内企业对于爱尔兰产品和服务的认可。近几年来啊，刚才 Renzo 啊和庄主任也都提到了啊，“14·5”规划发布以来，食品安全、环境保护、大健康、高等教育、航空工程领域，还有金融科技，都受到了越来越多的关注。那实际上，这些行业的企业，还有包括个人消费者，都已经成为爱尔兰公司的客户。也正是因为看重爱尔兰企业卓越的产品还有服务，当然我们今天关注的重点是爱尔兰的清洁科技的公司和企业。实际上爱尔兰的清洁能源呀，包括清洁科技产业的发达程度已经超乎我们的想象啊，正在成为该领域的世界级的领导者。我总结呢，主要的原因呢有这么几个。大家知道呢，爱尔兰也被称作欧洲的硅谷。在爱尔兰呢，有非常强大的信息技术啊、工程学呀、软件、传感器开发、生物科技领域的这个科技基础。这些基础呢，并不仅仅存在在大学还有研发机构里边，还有呢，在爱尔兰的主要城市已经开始利用这个大型企业的信息与通信技术的基础，将城市发展成为一个绿色的数据中心，还有云计算以及传感技术、监控技术、智能城市应用、这个智能电网技术等在内的数据管理中心和整个一个国家级的清洁技术中心。爱尔兰呢，大家知道地理位置呢，位于欧洲的最西端，直面大西洋，它的风能和海洋能的潜力巨大啊！有行业专家估算呀，实际上行业这个海洋能行业的规模已经能够达到1200亿欧元啊，是一个非常可观的市场。那第二点呢，爱尔兰有非常强大的金融服务领域啊，特别是英国退欧以后，有很多的银行总部、金融机构都已经搬到了爱尔兰，为这个可再生能源发电、还有能效测量、碳排放交易、这个水和垃圾项目的融资啊，提供了高质量的融资服务。那使得爱尔兰呢具备成为一个碳管理还有这个绿色金融国家的基础，也让爱尔兰的清洁科技产业成为外商跨国公司直接投资的发展平台。那第三点呢，实际上是爱尔兰呢有很强大的清洁技术产业的集群啊，在爱尔兰的中部呢有这个香农能量谷啊，在爱尔兰的最西端也是欧洲整个大陆的最西端，它直面这个大西洋的城市叫高威。在这边呢有一个新兴的海洋能量集群啊，目前呢已经有几百家的企业参与，也包括 IBM 等这种跨国企业。那位于科克呢有国际能源研究中心啊，这个它是技术商业化的一个平台。那之前提到的爱尔兰地理位置啊，这个本身自然能源的优势啊，再加上产业集群啊、研发机构啊、跨国企业带动爱尔兰的本土企业的发展呀，还有非常好的融资的环境结合起来，让爱尔兰逐渐的成为清洁技术发展的一个全球的中心。最后第四点呢，因为我们今天呀也有一些这个农业科技企业来参加，那实际上环境管理和可持续的农业科技也正在支撑着爱尔兰整个的一个食品产业。爱尔兰这么小的一个国家，它所生产的食品可以养活它规模10倍的人口啊，它出口位居欧洲前列啊，对华的食品出口呢也占全部出口的近80%。爱尔兰食品安全呢位居全球第1，这些也正得益于整个爱尔兰的水管理、这个监测、饲料以及化肥生产过程当中不断强调的可持续发展的理念。这个我简短的介绍了一下清洁技术，实际上爱尔兰还有很多在重点行业有涉足的企业。那么我们的工作方式呢，是每个市场顾问啊负责不同行业中国和爱尔兰企业的对接，也希望大家针对行业的需求来联系我们在北京、上海和香港的办公室， 也请您拍照关注我们的微信和联系方式。那么下面我把时间交给主持人 Liam。
Thank you very much, Peter, for your interesting introduction of the Irish Cleantech capability and beyond that. Moving forward, we at the EU SME Centre have also prepared a small presentation on our reports on the Greentech sector. If you allow me quickly to share my screen. Please let me know if you cannot see my screen. Before I start the presentation, a quick introduction about ourselves, the EU SME Centre. As one of the organizers today, the EU SME Centre, we are a program founded by the European Commission. The project already started 12 years ago in 2010. Currently, we are already in the third phase of the project. The project is implemented by 5 partners who are bilateral, multilateral chambers of commerces of European countries in China. The aim of the project is to provide services to increase SMEs' knowledge and raise their awareness on the China markets. And also to provide support for small and medium-sized enterprises in developing trade with and investments in China. The services we provide to European small and medium-sized enterprises are all free of charge. That mainly falls under these 4 aspects. First is a knowledge center. We have published over the past 12 years more than 200 comprehensive market reports, guidelines and case studies covering almost all sectors trade related to China. We also have an advice center where our in-house and external experts provide practical and confidential advice services, inquiry services to EU SMEs. We also have a training center. We provide face-to-face and also during the COVID pandemic now online webinars covering again almost all sectors related to doing business in China. Last but not least, we also have a SME advocacy platform where we constantly voice on behalf of European companies in China to constantly work on improving the business environments for European businesses in China. As I have introduced earlier, we have published over 200 comprehensive market studies, among which one of them is the Greentech market report that we have published back in 2017. So why Greentech and what's included in the report? Back in 2017, while a new set of measures have been launched by the Chinese government in an effort to reduce dependency on contaminating energy sources and also to curb the effects of pollution, embedded back in 2016 in the 13th five-year plan. Those measures were also expected to create opportunities for both domestic and also foreign players in many areas, including conventional and renewable energy, including water, air and soil pollution, waste management, and so on. And from the perspective of the EU SME, it is extremely it is extremely challenging for them to map the opportunities and to highlight the potential threats and risks to enter such a complex market as China's Greentech market. For this reason, back in 2017, the EU SME Centre, we have drafted a very detailed and comprehensive market report on the Greentech sector. Specifically, the report started with in-depth analysis and interpretation on the government development strategy, the 13th five-year plan. Moving on to the energy segment, we have covered not only the energy sector, but also wind energy, solar energy, biogas, biomass, waste to energy, waste to heat. And in the second part of the report, we have included our analysis on the water sector, from municipal industrial wastewater to rural agricultural water to sludge or sewage management. There's also in the end a section covering air and soil pollution and waste management and disposal. Eventually, in the report, we have presented to SMEs a step-by-step strategy guide for them to understand how to enter China's Greentech market. So how to approach the best partnerships, check your resources, and how to pitch your solutions, and eventually how to enter into technology transfer agreements with Chinese partners, and how to protect your intellectual property. So this is a small recap of 2017 report and what has been done back then. Moving forward, as China's Greentech sector is probably one of the fastest growing markets among all. Over the years, we have also seen a number of European technologies established in the markets. In China, and several companies already established in the market has also shown to be able to grow in this market and succeed in this market, delivering very strong economic results even during the pandemic periods. However, while some of the other companies considering to enter the market already before the pandemic have also been facing huge challenges and obstacles regarding travel restrictions and other market entry initiatives. On the website of the EU SME Centre, again, we have published case studies as well as success stories of those who has entered the markets successfully and then succeeded here. We invite you here, especially our Irish companies, to take a further look at what they have to share as your EU SME peers. Entering the Chinese Greentech sector, in this year, we are at the EU SME Centre planning to update our reports published in 2017, following the launch of the Chinese government's 14th five-year plan back in March 2021. Expectations to the development of Chinese market for Greentech in the coming years are extremely high. Like previous five-year plans, the 14th five-year plan also provides some important elements, allowing companies to have a better understanding on development strategies of the Chinese government. And from a general point of view, a number of targets for promoting the development of Greentech has been set out, but also in each of the specific areas of Greentech sector. And also the targets set and the implementation plans has been specified ministry by ministry, from the Ministry of Water Resources to the Ministry of Economy, Ecology and Environment, to MOHURT, Ministry of Housing. And then also includes the National Bureau for Energy. All different ministries have set out their own targets and implementation plans. The interpretation of the national five-year plan development strategy has also been interpreted province by province and municipal and city by city on a municipal level. All these will eventually provide investments and European SMEs with a better picture to understand which path to go. And once underlying China's commitment towards Greentech development and environmental protection, it's fundamental to understand and verify which role can be played by European SMEs by, in this case, our Irish Greentech companies here, and more specifically in which sector. As described, in recent years, China has been improving its technology, and in many sectors, China even is playing a leading role in the market worldwide. However, we still see that a number of projects to be performed in the short future, in the upcoming 10 years to 20 years, are and the extremely diversified Greentech sector business and technological environment poses China in the need to continue pushing towards technology innovation, and also in order to save the valuable time for Chinese companies and government procurement bodies to have the need to introduce foreign technology and to develop international cooperation projects and synergies. China is an extremely big and complex market when it comes to Greentech. Its numbers and related commitments are enormous, are astonishing. However, yet the targets set out are not fully achieved, and most importantly, not always bring direct benefits and related business opportunities to EU SMEs. Having a proper read of the Chinese market is therefore very important, however, very difficult due to the enormous and extremely variegated number of players, both public and private, continuous change, both private and public players, and eventually also the continuously changing laws and regulations in the sectors. And eventually, as I have been introducing how to enter the sector, our advice for European SMEs from the EU SME Centre, all this information will eventually all be included in the Greentech reports that we are going to publish later this year. And as said, China is an extremely broad country and enormous market. It is very difficult to know ahead, in particular for EU SMEs, from where business opportunities could come from, which kind of players and regional location to engage in. Consequently, each EU SME has to make deep research, analyzing how and whether entering into the market would be a good decision. In recent year, we also have seen many foreign multinationals as well as SMEs try to enter the market through industrial parks and economic development zones, and indeed that also has represented opportunities and those holds a variety of benefits, those industrial parks and economic development zones, which foreign EU SMEs should closely consider when investing. However, we also have observed that it is important to underline how the practice to open industrial Greentech parks has been overused by some of the provincial and municipal level governments in order to attract national funds. Having looked at all these barriers, there are still a multitude of reasons to invest in China's Greentech sector. Businesses, therefore, we advise that you must weigh the various advantages and disadvantages before deciding for the long process of starting a business in China, which is aided by the knowledge of the complexities found throughout the business structure in China. And in order to prepare companies to make an informed decision on whether to invest in China or not, we advise that companies to grasp the intricacies of the Chinese business climate, properly weigh the arguments for and against starting or expanding your business to an enormous market in China. Before I close my section, again, I invite our Irish companies to stay in touch with the EU SME Centre to this reports that we are going to publish later in the second half of the year. a market with potentials and challenges. We are happy to present to you our views on the China Greentech market. Before I go, I quickly share this slide. We also are collecting your valuable feedback for our reports, as well as other services we offer here at the EU SME Centre. So scan the QR code and please take your 2 minutes of time to fill in the evaluation form. Thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation, and I quickly jump back to my role of moderator of today's session. Without further ado, I would already like to pass on to our next speaker, which will be the first company presentation of Irish Cleantech companies. Mr. Zhang Chen from Altech, if you hear me, then you can open your camera and start sharing your presentation. Thank you.
OK， Hello， 能听到我说话吗？
可以。
啊，好的。好，那么首先感谢主持人哈，然后很高兴能够参加咱们中欧这一次绿色科技路演交流会。然后呢，我是来自于奥特奇市场部的张晨，然后呢也主要是负责奥特奇 ECO2 在中国的项目的开展和执行。然后我会在接下来的几分钟，然后介绍一下我们在农业碳减排上面的一些经验。那么首先是我们的 ECO2 公司，其实它在2009年的时候呢就已经成立了。然后它在那个时候呢，主要的目的呢也是希望能够聚焦到农业当中的一些碳减排。同时呢，在2015年 ，ECO2 公司呢就被奥特奇正式收购，然后从而更好的来服务我们的客户。ECO2 现行的一些主要的业务呢，基本包括了农业生产过程当中，包括农场端，包括饲料端的一站式服务，包括碳排的评估、碳核查、定制的一些农场的服务软件，以及后期改善碳排的一些咨询的服务等等。然后呢，因为 ECO2 因为它的根基实际上是在英国。所以也和我们所熟知的一些第三方的碳排认证的一些机构，同样也是来自英国的碳信托有着良好的一个合作关系。因此，我们的碳排的一个检测的一个方法，包括ISO 14064，包括我们的 PAS 2050，其实都得到了碳信托的一个认证，从而呢更好的为我们的方法进行一个背书，以及提供一个权威性。那么我们下面呢，我想跟大家具体介绍一下我们的一个方法论。我们所关注的一些温室气体，主要包括就是6种温室气体当中的其中3种，包括二氧化碳，包括甲烷，包括氧化亚氮。然后呢，这3种呢，其实也是我们农业生产过程当中呢影响的最大，同时也是产生的范围面积最广的3种气体。所以我们所使用的方法呢，也是标准检测过程当中的一个生命周期法。我在这里给大家简单做一个举例吧，就是首先呢，我们这里是以一个牧场来做例子，然后呢，我们其实能够看到的就是这个系统的，我们会首先划分一个系统边界，叫做 system boundary。然后这个系统边界里边呢，它大概是会有包括比如说我们日常所需要的饲料的使用，包括我们动物的粪便的一些处理，包括里面的一些作物的生产，包括作物，包括饲料的一些加工和运输等等，都会到我们最终的一个碳核算的一个范围之内。这其实也是我们所谓的生命周期法它评价的一个精髓，就是将奶牛场生产的东西，就包括它的牛奶，包括一些多余的一些毒牛等，它是以一个功能性的单位去进行一个呈现，从而体现整个牧场的一个碳排放。 但其实我们大家众所周知哈，就是我们在农业的生产过程当中，其实它的客观因素其实很多，不同的牧场它的奶牛的生产效率其实也有不同，肠道的发酵不同，同时呢，包括饲料的利用的效率，包括它用了什么料，它的饲料来自于哪儿等等，其实都会导致我们的整体的一个农场的一个碳排放量的一个不同。所以因此呢，我们也认为我们必须要有一个尽可能精确的数字，才能够了解到牧场的环境影响，从而去改善和治理。这个呢，也是我们想说的，就是如果我们不能够进行测量，那么我们想要后续去进行一个改善，那就更是无从说起。那么具体到执行上面的话，我们是怎么做的呢？我们会首先进行一个环境性的评估，这也是我们目前呢在国内跟很多大型的一些牧场的一些客户呢也正在进行的。就比如说，我们首先会进行环境的评估，然后完了以后呢，我们会根据它的当前的一个评估的一个报告呢，再去进行一个出具一个相应的一个改善的一个报告。然后呢，这个报告里面就可能会包括一些具体的一些改善的计划。这样在1年以后，当然是奶牛场哈，奶牛场我们通常会以1年为单位，然后可能其他的就比如说猪场也好，比如说家禽也好，可能就会根据不同的动物它的一个生产周期进行一个制定。然后奶牛场我们通常会采取1年为单位，1年以后呢，我们就会再进行一次评估。评估从而看就是之前的一个整体的一个计划是否有效果，以及是否需要进行一个及时的一个调整。那么我这里跟大家分享一个我们在本土做的一个实例，这是一个来自于咱们北方的一个牧场的一个客户。我们首先呢，在2020年初就进行了一个就对它的2019年整体牧场的一个碳排放进行一个碳核查。然后呢，这里面呢还有一个所谓的 benchmark， 就是我们的标杆分析，就是其实呢我们能够看到的，就是我们会把我们就比如说这一家牧场，它和其他的相同类型的牧场进行一个对比，这样的话呢，我们也能够知道就是大概自己处于什么水平，然后呢这个牧场它的表现哪些地方有差距，最后呢附上相应的建议。我们也能看到，就是我们的报告的最终，这是我们这次检测以后呢，报告的一个最终的一个形式。这里面就包含了基础的一个碳排放量，然后呢，它的一些基础数据，我们在哪些地方能够提高，然后最后呢，提供综合的一个建议，然后最后形成一个可视化的这是我们一个 Power BI 的一个例子，就是当它把一些能够使用的一些建议，嵌到它的牧场的管理之中以后呢，其实我们也能够通过我们自己的一些管理软件去实时观测它在当月，然后在第2月、第3月的一个整体的一个碳排的一个表现量。那么在这一家牧场以后呢，我们当时给了他在第1年，在2020年初，当时做了第1次的审计以后，然后在21年初，我们相当于1年以后再做第2次的审计的时候，我们当时就发现了它的一个首先是它的碳排有很大的一个改善，这其中呢就包括呢它的一个整体的一个饲料的利用效率呢也有所提高。当然呢，还有就是如果它的一个蛋白还有一个乳脂的一个整体提高呢，其实也都综合改善了它的一个整体牧场的一个碳排放量。然后呢，还有就是我们也发现，就是它其中可能还有一些问题，就是因为它本身牧场其实是在扩群的，就相当于说它场里边的一些毒瘤或者说是育成瘤的一个数量相对来说更少了，相对来说多了一些，所以这其实也给它的一个牧场呢带来了一些多余的一些碳排放量。所以当然这是一个牧场它自己一个扩建的一个计划，这是我们也能够理解。当然问题就是我们能够发现这些点，然后同时呢，它可能在第3次的一个审计当中呢，就能够明白这些问题以后，然后可能就会再去进行一个针对性的一个改善。所以当然我这一张 PPT 呢，就想跟大家说，就是其实也是想复述我刚刚的一个观点，就是认为其实当下无论是检测的一个整体一个碳排的一个检测的一个方法也好，还是说我们去思考到的整体的一个牧场的一个减排的一个技术也好，其实我们有的选择是很多的。 但它的一个根基就在于我们怎么样能够精确的去了解咱们牧场到底它的一个整体的一个碳排的一个表现是什么样子的。所以我们这些问题呢，其实都能够从我们所收集到的数据当中去能够看到的，这也是我们希望看到的一些机会点，这也会让我们更有效率的去提高我们减排的一个工作效率。那么在这一个牧场当中呢，我们最后也是根据了它第2次一个审计的一个整体一个情况呢，就给出了一个下一步计划。这个计划呢就包括了，就比如说去确认饲料当中的增温潜释值，然后呢也包括一些优化的一些饲料的一些选择，同时呢也包括提升繁殖能力、改善动物健康以及更好的一些数据的一些记录等等。因为其实很多我们的销售数据也其实跟我们的碳排的一个计算有着直接相关，这其实也是跟我们去怎么样去减少碳排也是有着直接相关的一个关系的。所以这个呢大概就是我们一次完整的一个评估的一个流程。那么到最后呢，我还想跟大家说的是，最后我们目前 ECO2 呢，它能够所涉及到的范围，从我们农场的饲料端，包括农场的养殖端，包括农场的一些产品的一些后期的加工，包括一些商超到的零售端，其实我们都已经有相应的一些碳排的一些经验，所以呢，我们也愿意跟大家去深入的探讨一些农业上面怎么样去减碳的一个可能性，从而呢帮助我们的企业去提升他们的一个社会的一个影响力。我今天的演讲就是这些，那么也欢迎大家能够多多联系，然后呢也希望大家我们也希望能够帮助大家能够探索更多的可能性。那么谢谢大家，谢谢主持人。
Thank you very much, our presenter from Altech. Coming next, we have our complete presentation from Aqua Monitrix. Mr. Colin Lynch, if you can hear me, you can open your camera and start your presentation.
Thank you, Liam. Just opening there now. Can you just confirm you can see my screen? It's okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So, okay, thank you, Liam, and thank you to everybody for affording us the opportunity to present Aqua Monitrix, which is a real-time nitrite and nitrate analyzer, which is a sensor that delivers data that for the first time ever can address Cleantech and Greentech issues in the water, wastewater and aquaculture industries. As well as that, it's helping environmental and social governance issues and on the agenda in large organizations. So just to give you a little bit of feedback on who we are. So Aqua Monitrix is a company based in Ireland. It's solely owned by Irish people. The technology has been developed in Ireland and is owned by the company. And it's currently deployed in about 20 sites across the world, 10 different countries, so in the EU, the US and Australia. And we have a number of strategic partnerships with industry partners working on use cases which is of interest to them relating to environmental impacts. So the product itself this is a picture of it here on the left-hand side. So it combines a novel detection method using fluidic dynamics and chemistry, all delivered on an IoT platform. So what Aqua Monitrix does, it has this very, very complex chemistry, which is hidden away from the end user to make it a very easy to use sensor, which is out of the box ready in terms of deployment. It's very unique in that you can move this sensor from a number of different water qualities without the need for calibrations, which is practically unheard of in the water industry. So you can take this from an activated sludge plant to a clean water without having to do any modifications to the unit itself. And the technology delivers data to an IoT platform, which is cloud-based and is accessible from anywhere that you need. But also we have data outputs that can be directed into a SCADA system at a wastewater treatment plant. So where are we currently helping customers? Our current deployments, the picture you see here is on the River Thames outside London, where the environmental agencies are monitoring water quality in watersheds, surface water, which is lakes and rivers and things like this. And they're looking to monitor nitrate and nitrite in especially areas where there are dead zones or there are fish kills, and also where they're looking at determining the water quality for reuse if they're going to redirect water into drinking water plants for further processing. We're also measuring this remotely. We have, in the picture you see on the right-hand side here, is a prototype of our solar powered unit, which literally can be taken to the side of a river and deployed for any period of time. And again, because of low need for calibration and the accuracy of the unit makes it very, very effective. There are statutory requirements on a lot of industries and also water plants on effluent that is leaving their plants, so they make sure that they're compliant. And another use case we have is downstream on chloramination processes, where nitrite can be detected or and also can form, which leads to both smell and taste issues on drinking water. So if you want early intervention, you have to be able to identify this in real time. Final effluent monitoring is a very interesting one on the green agenda, because we are using both final effluent monitoring and monitoring directly in activated sludge plants for determination of nitrous oxide. As we know, nitrous oxide is 300 times more potent greenhouse gas than carbon. So in the drive to net zero in the UK by 2030, it is very, very high on the agenda. And we have a number of test deployments with water companies in the UK at the moment. This is a picture of the Data Monitrix platform, which delivers data to the end user, reporting both nitrite and nitrate. It's got a lot of functionality in terms of monitoring the instrument from remotely, because we've got a lot of sensors, a lot of alarms. We can set detection limits, and we can send notifications to users if certain limits are exceeded, and we can set those whatever way we want. One of the interesting use cases for Aquamonitrix is in the aquaculture industry, in the delivery of sustainable food. And the fastest growing industry in the world in relation to delivering protein is through aquaculture. And for the first time ever, aquaculture RAS systems, which are recirculating aquaculture systems, can use the data that we're providing to manage biofilters. So it maximizes their efficiency and reduces the risk of fish kills, which are very, very common occurrence across the industry. So just to summarize the use case summary, we are using Aquamonitrix for final effluent monitoring in wastewater treatment plants, nitrous oxide control and emission in aeration basins, energy conservation in aeration basins, watershed quality monitoring, drinking water quality monitoring, chloramination process monitoring, and process control within aquaculture RAS systems. We have a number of approvals for Aquamonitrix. So we've completed 1-month trials with the US EPA under ISO 14034, and we've completed a 3-month ETV verification with Scottish Water, which has accredited our instrument to ISO 14034, which is the only one available in the market with that level of accreditation. This chart here talks to you about the accuracy and precision. So the blue dots, or the blue line here, are over a 1-month period, the data points generated by Aquamonitrix, and the red dots overlaid are independent analysis done by the US EPA to determine the level of accuracy. And they have reported that our instrument was greater than 95% accurate on both nitrate and nitrite in septic water challenge. So how do we deliver this level of accuracy and reliability? Well, what we're doing, we've got a novel combination of rapid ion chromatography and LED detection. And that can both simultaneously and selectively detect both the nitrite and the nitrate highly accurately, as I said, greater than 95% accurate. And the key to delivering it is that it's matrix agnostic, which effectively means we can put this unit in any water quality without the need for recalibrations, and we maintain the level of accuracy and precision the whole way through. Information is delivered via SCADA, as I said before, or on the IoT system, whichever is preferred. And this instrument is designed to go out in the open on the side of aeration plants and is very durable and robust. This is just a copy of the ETV report we've received from the James Hutton Institute in collaboration with Scottish Water, which confirms our product conforms to ISO 14034. The technology behind it is patented across USA, Europe, China, and Japan, and all of the proprietary information belongs with Aquamonitrix. We're in full control of the technology and the product. Some key customers that we have and sites that where our unit is being used is from LA Water in the US, we've Arctic University in Norway, Microvy in the US also, and Mahor, Spain, and a couple of the large utilities in the UK. And all of these are testing for the key use cases: nitrous oxide, energy, chloramination, new water treatment verification, groundwater, and aquaculture. The new water treatment verification is an interesting one with Microvy, where we are testing the quality of water going into their plant and afterwards measuring the effectiveness of new water treatments, which is a really, really big thing happening across Europe and the US. Second last slide. So this is just a picture of some of the competitors that we have in the market. You'll be familiar with large multinational organizations such as HAC, YSI, Partizylum Group, ATI, and ChemScan. And what we're saying, what our unique selling point and how we're different is we can simultaneously and selectively measure both the nitrate and nitrite with high levels of precision, which cannot be done by our competitors. And our calibration holds moving from one point to another, and there's no need to calibrate. We have units in the field for greater than 12 months with no need for calibration. There's low energy and chemical consumption. And it's a very, very straightforward unit to use. You do not need to be, have a doctorate in engineering to get this out of the box, get it up and running. It's a low skill level for operation and intervention. And because of all of that, there's low OPEX and lifetime costs. And I think that is my final slide. And yeah, I'd welcome any questions you have at the conclusion of the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lynch, as well as your presentation. I apologize that today we have limited time for our companies to present, but for our Chinese companies and participants, if you are interested in getting to know further about our Irish Cleantech companies, you are welcome to get in touch after the event. Without further ado, we move on to our next speaker, Mr. Paul McDonald, the Managing Director of Sonitus System. Paul, if you can hear me, please already start your presentation.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Liam. Thank you to Enterprise Ireland and all the wider team for inviting us along today. I'm Paul McDonald, the CEO of Sonitus Systems, and we manufacture environmental monitoring instrumentation for healthier spaces. So our aim is to help our customers to create better environments to live and work, and that is through accurate and reliable environmental monitoring, and then combining that with the analytics and the knowledge to make a positive change in those environments. So we combine a long-term automatic monitoring with information and knowledge about those applications to help our customers to improve their environmental situations. So like our last presenter, we are a manufacturer based in Ireland. We have a small team based in Dublin. We own the designs and an IP to all our own products, and we design and manufacture everything here in Ireland. And we focus on three key areas: noise monitoring, air quality monitoring, and the cloud technology to put those IoT systems online and to turn the measurement information we take in those applications into information that our customers can act on. So we're combining those long-term robust measurements in the field from our sensors with knowledge about the application and turning it into a system that our customers can use to communicate with their stakeholders, and maybe that's their client, with government authorities or with local citizens to help them understand their environmental scenarios. And we focus on three major areas of application. So construction is one of the largest areas where we work. We work with customers who are construction companies, but also monitoring companies and environmental professionals. And what we do in this space, we monitor in noise and air quality, and we help our customers to save time and costs on their environmental checks. So normally that's an application where the customer or the construction site will have a noise limit or an air quality limit that they must stick to for part of their planning conditions. And we help them to meet those environmental goals in an automated way. Similarly, in the manufacturing space, we work with a lot of the large manufacturing companies across Ireland, the UK and the US, where they will use our monitoring sensors at the boundary of their factory to help demonstrate environmental compliance with local laws. So we build the tools to help them automatically meet those environmental limits and to share that information with either the government authorities, the local management, or the wider team to help them automatically improve their environmental performance over time. And that's again in the areas of noise and air quality. And in the smart city space, we work with international governments and environmental organizations to help deploy monitoring instrumentation in an automatic way that allows our customers to capture information right across an entire city or an entire country, and again, communicate that to the most important people who need to make decisions based on that information. And that might be the local citizens who are making a decision about what they want to do with their day, where they want to spend their time. Is it a healthy space to go to the park? Or it might be a city council or a government organization who are going to develop some new policies based on the information that we measure and then automatically turn into information they can use to make better decisions. So to give you a little bit of background about the company, we're a university spin-out from Trinity College in Dublin. We spun out the company in 2007. At that time, we were based in the mechanical engineering department and focusing on acoustics and noise research. We worked with Dublin City Council and Enterprise Ireland to commercialize the technology. And we worked with a lot of government organizations in Ireland to help them generate new laws and new policy around noise and around environmental compliance. In 2013, we moved out of that consultancy space and focused on manufacturing products. And we set up our manufacturing facilities here in Ireland. And we won some national and international government contracts, again, helping those government organizations to meet their environmental goals in an automatic way. Over time, we became the market leader in Ireland and the UK. So we have very, very strong market share in the UK, again, across those three areas of construction, manufacturing industry, and smart cities. And we began to grow our customer base in that smart city space as we saw an increasing demand among governments for better environmental information, better environmental control, and a way of communicating those improvements and those initiatives to the wider public. So one of the things we focus on is helping to turn that really technical information into something very, very simple that the end user can see, and we'll look at that in a few minutes. And that has resulted in a large international growth in some of the government organizations that we work with. And over the past couple of years, obviously a little bit hampered by the pandemic, but we've invested heavily in new R&D with the help of Enterprise Ireland. So we've built additional laboratories and calibration labs here in Dublin. We are launching new products to market, and we're expanding our international distribution channels and international partnerships. And that's part of our request today is to take a look at how we can do that. And when we work internationally, we do that through a network of partners. So our company are technical experts and manufacturing experts, and we partner with companies in different markets who can take the products and the services that we offer and bring them to the local market. That's either through having local staff, a local sales network, or a local network of contacts in the environmental industry. And we support those international teams with expert advice and also the technical support to help manage those remote monitoring networks that we deploy around the world. So we have about 3,800 projects where we're involved across noise monitoring and air quality. We have about 3,700 active sites at any one time. So again, like the last speaker, our instrumentation is easy to move, it's easy to calibrate, and our customers can move it around on various different environmental projects. And we have a little over 8,000 users on our IoT platform who use our online tools for monitoring and reporting. So to focus a little bit on those products, we have a noise monitor, which is widely deployed on construction and those industrial sites. It complies with international standards. We have those calibration laboratories here in our offices. So everything we ship meets the international standards required to report on environmental compliance and environmental laws. And we automate those checks for our customers. So we have automated monitoring instrumentation, automated upload to our cloud platform, and then automated online analytics combined with artificial intelligence to help our customers to really get deep insights about what is happening on their environmental monitoring projects and what they can do to improve it. So we don't just measure and give a large amount of data over to the customer. We turn that data into something that's very, very useful using our background and our expertise in these spaces. This year, we're launching our air quality monitoring instrumentation. So again, meets the international standards. We expect to have our UK certification awarded tomorrow, which is widely recognized around the world. So we've been investing heavily in this product to help to meet those global standards. And it's really our positioning in the market is to be at that space where our customers are confident that our instrumentation is legally applicable and has all the necessary approvals to work in the local market. And again, we operate with that automation, ease of use on site, and designed for long-term operation. And we combine that with our online analytical tools that help our customers to turn these measurements into something that's useful for their application. And we do that in a couple of different ways, which I'll show you in a moment, but our cloud technology takes in the expertise. And when we operate, we resource our team with experts that can take this data and help our customers to make better environmental decisions and create better environmental monitoring projects. So one of the examples that I show you is airquality.ie. So this is the national government website for Ireland for monitoring air quality. So we worked with the Environmental Protection Agency, a branch of the Irish government, and we developed a platform to take air quality monitoring from the entire country of Ireland and deliver that to the citizens in a way that's easy to understand. So our team have expertise in monitoring instrumentation, in field service, in calibration, and also then in data analytics to help to turn that into a tool that can be used to communicate with the stakeholders. So we give those tools over to the Environmental Protection Agency, and they are able to communicate this information in a simple way. So airquality.ie is now used as the national information point for air quality in Ireland, and citizens can access that on their phone, on a website, and they can use that then to make decisions about what they want to do. Where do they want to spend their day? Is it a nice day to go for a walk in the park? And similarly, the government organizations can use this information to look at long-term environmental trends and make better environmental decisions about where they deploy their resources. So when we look at a market like China to see how the Chinese government is applying their initiatives, we can see that the incentives for businesses and so on to improve their environmental performance can benefit for something like this, where communicating with stakeholders, either internal in a team within an organization or on the scale of an entire country, can benefit from simple tools to show that information in a way that's easy to understand. And that's what we deliver. So when we work with either a small company or a government organization, we work with 3 key pillars of how we deliver our value. And that is instrumentation that our customers can trust, that will meet international standards and is reliable and robust. We combine that with the analysis to make the job easier. So we automate all those steps of monitoring, either across a city or across a country. It's fully automated. The upload is automated and the analysis is automated. And we support those customers with industry experts in our team to help develop the tools that are needed for reporting. And when we enter a new market, and what we're hoping to find in China, are 3 key things. We look for knowledge about the local environment. So we rely on our friends in Enterprise Ireland to help with this, but also we try to talk to local businesses and local customers to understand what is needed in that market. So what's the demand in the industry? What are the government initiatives that are going to drive regulation? And what are the local quality standards that we might need to meet, or certifications for our instrumentation that are needed? We look for partners. So we work through partners on the ground, and that's sales, support, and environmental professionals. And we look to establish long-term business practices so that we collaborate over a long term with sustainable business. And that's what we're hoping to gain from this session and from our initial explorations into the Chinese market. And if anybody has any questions or would like to discuss any of this further, please get in contact with us and we'd be happy to take it forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paul, for your presentation. I noticed that we are a bit behind schedule.
Considerable consternation amongst the Ukrainians.
That we are a bit behind schedule. Apologies for that we have took a bit longer time than expected for the introductory part. Apologies for the speakers who are still going to present. I see that one of our panelists, Gerard, you raised your hand earlier. Is there anything that you would like to share before we continue? Gerard?
No, it's okay, Liam. Thanks very much. It was covered by the speaker there. That's grand.
Okay, shall we move on to our next speaker, Mr. Ian Lahif, General Manager China from Celtic Sea Minerals. Ian, if you hear me, you can start your presentation now.
Hi, everyone. Very nice to be able to discuss and introduce the Marigold Group today. Thank you very much to Enterprise Ireland for the introduction. So a little bit about the group. I mean, the group has a focus on improving health and well-being, mindful that there's a global population, and obviously doing that in a more natural, ethical and sustainable way. The areas of business we're in, one is in sustainable food systems and crops, healthy and positive nutrition at a human level, and then the same at sustainable livestock agriculture. So the Marigold Group comprises 15 businesses. So with 2 businesses on the crop science side, as I mentioned, Brandon Biosciences is active in China. The animal nutrition business, which is probably the core driver of the business currently in China, primarily under the Celtic Sea Mineral brand. And then in food ingredients, which are ingredients that go directly into human nutrition. A number of these products are currently being registered for approval in China, as are the food and beverage products. So when we look at what is driving these companies in terms of technology, primarily coming from marine mineral solutions, and I'll introduce a little bit about their production and story behind that. But as you see, it comes across from seaweed, using biostimulants and different types of marine mineral technologies that can enhance food, enhance beverages, and provide nutrition to crops, animals, and people. The business was formed in 1991. Currently, our founder is 89 years old, and we still get regular calls from him with incredible engagement across the business. 15 either fully owned businesses or subsidiaries or joint ventures, about 150 people outside of production, and serving 80 markets around the world, with significant investment in science with over 60 peer-reviewed academic papers. A little bit about where the company footprint. So the headquarters is in Cork, which is, I'm not from Cork, but it's the second city in Ireland, and often regarded as being their own little place down there. We're based there, but we have manufacturing right down in the west of Ireland, which is a stunning place to visit. And also have a really amazing facility in Iceland, where there's carbon neutral processing taking place, and the responsible harvesting of raw materials, and also a research and development center looking at seaweed exploration and discovery in the North Atlantic Ocean. Also, the Marigold Group is heavily invested in whiskey. The Arran whiskey brand is also part of that, and looking at using the co-products from whiskey production in animal nutrition as well, such as probiotics, which is a major focus of the business. So a strong business footprint across Northern Europe. As I said, it's very important to the business to be able to responsibly source, and all of the materials are harvested under license, and using the latest in GPS mapping technology and conforming to all of the ISO and Organic Trust standards. Manufacturing facilities, 6 of them all meet the highest VMAS and other production standards. And obviously everything that is done is backed by science, and in the US, Korea, right across Europe, and in China, we partner with the China Agricultural University. I've done research in that area. I guess as a business, the drivers, are really a focus on service, innovation, respect and integrity, and collaboration. And much like the businesses, we are looking for partners in China that will reflect and share these values. So please reach out if you're interested. In terms of the Celtic Sea Mineral brand, this is the primary brand in the animal nutrition business. This was formed in 1993, and primarily promoting a rumen buffer solution which improves dairy production. As you can see, it's based in Cork, with production in both Cork and Iceland. And currently we're doubling our global production with major investments in the US and China to double our production in the next 3 years. Currently in 52 countries, 30 years, and international sales of about 80,000 metric tons. That's being fed at about 50 to 60 grams per cow. So it's covering quite a lot of cows around the world. I suppose our commitment to sustainability, one is obviously in dealing with the raw materials that we harvest, and turning those into technologies that will be used by our customers to improve their efficiency and reduce their own carbon footprint. Obviously, there's a direct correlation there, and everything we do in our own sustainability roadmap is directly aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, as we referred to earlier. And I suppose our marine mineral ingredients are working right across all species of dairy and beef, swine and poultry. So if there are people interested in learning more about these technologies, please do reach out. I'm conscious of time, so I'll stop there and give the floor over to others. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you very much for your presentation. And we have one last Irish company to present. We have speakers from the Celtic Group, Mr. Sean Galley and Mr. Eric Cole. If you hear me, Sean and Eric, you can start your presentation now.
Sean, I'll do the presentation first.
Please go ahead, Eric.
OK. 谢谢 EI 爱尔兰和 EU SME 中心安排这次的交流，也感谢各位抽出宝贵的时间参与。我的 presentation 呢是我没有 PPT， 等一下我的同事双公里先生将会为大家讲解关于我司的产品及运用的方案。我简单用中文介绍一下我们公司。Techlec 创办于1995年，我们秉承让测量更简单的宗旨，一直致力于液体、气体和固体测试设备和研发制造，并为我们的客户提供整体的解决方案。我们公司在国内的团队在这个领域有数十年的相关经验，尤其是在制造方面。其实我们从改革开放初期，部分的管理人员就已经来到大陆，或者有些是我们本身中国的同事就开始从事制造这个行业。我们在国内就在深圳，主要负责国内销售、项目管理、制造及和爱尔兰总部一同研发项目。我现在把时间交给我同事 Mr. Sean Gandy， 谢谢。Sean, over to you.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Yeah.
So by way of background, Techlec, as Eric mentioned, we're in business since the mid-1990s. We're the largest level measurement hardware producer in Europe. We have 4.5 million of our sensors deployed in more than 50 countries worldwide. We're headed for 5 million, hopefully this year. We're now in our 28th year in business, in fact. We have full R&D, technical ownership and investment. So all of our R&D is done in-house by our team of engineers, and all of our manufacturing is done in-house in Shenzhen, as Eric mentioned, in Shannon and some other sites, which I'll touch on in a moment. The data from our devices is very reliable and scalable, so we can roll out anything from a handful of units to thousands or tens of thousands of sensors at a time for our customers. We also offer bespoke customer applications, so we can work on specific needs. If there is something that is not met by our range of more than 100 sensors today, 100 products, we will work with you to develop bespoke electronics and IoT sensors to meet your requirements. In terms of support, we have dedicated staff to support our products across multiple regions, and we're compatible with a very wide variety of communications protocols, and I'll touch on that in a moment. In terms of what we monitor, Techlec indeed has been on its own green transition over the years, but our heritage has been in the fuel sector in oil and gas, then moving in more recent years into chemicals, water and wastewater, and indeed solid wastes. In terms of our locations, we have 3 facilities in Ireland. Our sister companies would be Forcefield in the agri space, and we recently acquired a business called Dunraven Systems, again in remote tank monitoring or tank level measurement. Our manufacturing facilities in Asia are in Shenzhen, as mentioned. We ship through Hong Kong, and we also have a facility outside of Kuala Lumpur in Shah Alam in Malaysia. We have offices in the Woodlands, Texas, and in Albany, New York. In total, we have a workforce of approximately 200 people today. Our clients in the environmental space would include Veolia, who are the largest waste utility and water utility in the world. Irish Water, and we're also doing some sewer level monitoring and wastewater monitoring for canal nets under the city streets in a number of German cities. Our project with Veolia in France is across waste bins in more than 14 cities today in France, including Paris. And I'll touch on that particular project in a moment. Again, our heritage was in and has been in the oil and gas sector. So clients would include the likes of Chevron, ConocoPhillips, Shell, and so on. But we are branching into other clean tech areas with them in the near future. We have a broad range of clients also in the telecom space, such as Bouygues in France, Proximus in Belgium, Swisscom in Switzerland, and they are providing water and other monitoring solutions with our IoT sensors. We also have a very exciting project ongoing with the United Nations for the last number of years on refugee camps right across Africa for water level monitoring. And this has helped indeed on the humanitarian front and to save enormous amounts of money and finances for the monitoring of water within some of these refugee camps with populations north of 1 million people at a time. That's a project we're particularly proud of. In terms of tanks and vessels supported across multiple industries, these include large bulk storage tanks. We can provide solutions for IBCs, intermediate bulk containers, silos, bins, barrels, drums in the waste and recycling and agri-food spaces, for example. In terms of our sensors, this is just a snapshot of some of our best sellers. These would be 4G and 5G LTE Cat M1 ultrasonic level sensors, which can be deployed on a tank or a bin in a minute or two and provide you level measurements to a back end of the customer's choice, or they can use our back end software. We have those cellular protocols in place on 4G, 5G, 3G and 2G indeed. But we also provide solutions in LoRaWAN, Sigfox, Wi-Fi, local RF, and we're launching new products all of the time. So we're launching a free space radar, a non-invasive radar solution to read through the walls of a plastic tank or vessel, and that'll be launched in July of this year. That's a project we're particularly excited about. We also offer intrinsically safe or ATEX approved solutions for hazardous locations, and we offer pressure sensors for much larger vessels, particularly in liquid level measurement. We also offer a range of solutions for industrial gases, LPG, on 4G, on 5G, LoRa, and in local RF. In simplest terms, what we do is we place our sensors on a bin or a tank. I've shown an IBC here, but the data is sent directly to the cloud. It's processed by our own unique algorithms. And then at the back end, the end user can take actionable levels and alerts, optimize their routes for scheduling of truck rolls, etc. So this allows for a much more efficient managing of their inventory in the field and response to that. I'll touch on that more in a moment. So these integrated solutions provide for measurement and communications in an easily deployable box. We have GPS tracking within the devices. We have those multiple connectivity options that I mentioned. We provide white label solutions for a number of our clients, including the likes of Kingspan, an Irish multinational, and I've done that for many years. We're platform agnostic, so customers can use our backend, which is based on Microsoft Azure, or we can integrate via APIs or raw payloads into the backend of the customer's choice. We offer efficient battery management, so our cellular battery life is 5 to 10 years. Battery life on our LoRa sensors is 10 to 17 years. And these are highly configurable pieces of hardware that the customer can set alarm configurations on and schedule adjustments on, right down to an individual sensor on an individual bin, barrel, drum, tank, whatever it may be. So we feel that we're world leaders in ultrasonic measurement technology in terms of our accuracy, reliability, and so on. We're tried and tested with more than 4.5 million sensors in the field worldwide and 28 years in business. And we're very competitively priced for what is a premium range of products. How we help our businesses, our partners, we help improve inventory management, business optimization, and route optimization for deliveries or pickups is a huge part of that. And that's where the cost savings come into play for our clients. And the return on investment for our sensors is typically a number of months rather than years. We offer improved asset management, environmental compliance, safety, and so on. So our remote monitoring solution at the back end is on Microsoft Azure, but we're platform agnostic. Again, you can use our back end, or we will integrate with the software of the customer's choice. In terms of our waste bin monitoring applications, these gray bins top right on my slide here are city street bins in France. The sensor in the photo just below that sits down underground inside these bins. It has to be very robust for this particular application, as these are lifted out by cranes mounted on trucks. They're beaten off the side of the trucks to empty them. They're power washed and cleaned with chemicals inside. So Veolia tested us versus 5 rivals in the marketplace. with independent tests run over a number of months, and they've selected us for a nationwide rollout there. We now have thousands of sensors across France for this particular application, and we're rolling out in other countries now with Veolia in waste bin monitoring. The environmental benefits are that there are no overfills, there is reduced fuel consumption, lower CO2 emissions for their fleet. The business benefits are obviously the route optimization piece, so that their waste trucks are no longer just running a milk run or routes within a city. Rather, they are reacting to the information from the field, the business analytics on our dashboard, and going to service bins that need servicing on a particular day. The financial benefits include capacity planning, OPEX reduction in the running of their business, and those obvious cost savings. That's just a small sample of what we do at Techelec. We'd be delighted to take any questions from you later on, and please feel free to contact us. I'm based in Ireland at our headquarters. Eric, who has spoken earlier, is based in our Shenzhen facility, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Sean and Eric, for your presentation. Now we have concluded our section for the Digital Roadshow for presentations from the Irish Cleantech companies. I apologize again for a small delay in our schedule. And now we're moving on to the interactive Q&A session. Before we enter into the open session, today we also have the honor to have two representatives from the Chinese companies and institutions. To start with, I would like to invite Dr. Li Fen to share briefly your take and remarks after listening to our company presentations from the Irish Greentech companies. Dr. Li Fen, if you can hear me, can you please turn on your screen and start your sharing?
Okay, thank you, Chairman. And I'm honored to be here and invited by the organization. I'm Li Fen, who is from Shenzhen Institute of Building Research, and very inspiration to gather informations of the above speakers, and especially about the sonity. And as we all know, the China's current industrialization and urbanization have not yet been complicated, and the carbon emission have a regional demand. Ireland is a country focused on technology and innovation. Carry out the CO2 emission and economic growth are absolutely decoupled. And China will also accelerate the process of carbon pin neutralization, taking 30 years to complete the 70 years into the EU to achieve from pin to neutral. So as Deputy Director Zhang Jia mentioned, the innovation drive and opportunities to promote scientific and technology cooperation between China and EU. So according to the study forecast from the current to 2060, the carbon neutral scenario, the top growth index by industry is the service industry, followed by the transportation, equipment, chemical, the food, the power equipment, and agriculture, etc. They are fit to the 5 companies mentioned. And the scale of the capital investment for the carbon neutralization is roughly between the 150 trillion RMB yuan and 300 trillion RMB yuan. Shenzhen Institute of Building Research, abbreviated as IBR, which is built up in 1992, all 900 employees, which is a state-controlled green technology company. A national high-tech enterprises ranking top in the field of green building research and design. And in terms of the international cooperation, IBR has cooperated the international with the Germany, UK, Netherlands, Switzerland, and so on. And on the green building, energy, indoor air quality monitoring, and the water treatment, vertical greening, and editable landscape agriculture, etc. We have accumulated the rich experiences in international cooperation, undertaken more than 30 international cooperation projects. So we have the two cases, the Shenzhen International Low Carbon City, the flagship project of the sustainable urbanization in China and EU, with an area of 53 kilometer square, and it is built up with the Green Community Open Laboratory, the Green Lifestyle Research Basis, and the International Cooperation Center, which have the abbreviation of the world's first civil building DC micro grid scale demonstration project, and also have the integrated demonstration of urban agriculture and vertical greening based on ecological compensation. And we also have the project in the Xiong'an New Era Business Service Center. And there is also the zero discharge sewage technology to achieve the rainwater resources utilization, and personal carbon credit account based on the monitoring technology to leave a trace of the whole footprint. So thanks again for this exchange and look forward to the further cooperation opportunity with the enterprises. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Li Fan. We also have one representative from the company side, Mr. Bai Hao. If you can hear me, can you please unmute yourself and turn on your camera and start your sharing?
可以看到我的 PPT 吗？你好，你好，可以看到 PPT 吗？
可以。
OK，非常感谢中国科技技术交流中心啊，还有大会组委会，包括我们爱尔兰几位企业介绍，包括刚刚李峰博士。按照组委会要求呢，我来介绍一下中国的污水处理行业的分析，还有一个我们接触的一个产品推广情况，两个产品关于环保行业的。我这公司呢，主要是一个就是环保技术型公司，主要是跟大学合作。我们做企业这个就是大学的产品转化和孵化这一块，包括推广这一块。同时呢，我们在合作过程中呢，如果遇到一些好的产品这块呢，也会跟这个产品这块那个公司呢一起做一些国内推广这块。我的介绍呢分为两个部分啊，一个是中国污水处理行业的一个分析，第二是一个产品推广案例介绍这一块。目前来说，国内因为中国确实人口比较多，体量比较大，我们将废水呢一般分为两个类型，一个属于市政污水这一块，第二是生产废水这一块。根据2020年统计量这块呢，我们这个整个在市政废水这块呢，我们大概每年的处理量大概是850亿吨左右。这里面呢，像我们的城市废水和县城这块呢，基本上已经达到95%以上的那个处理率。像村镇呢，基本在60%，意味着是我们这850亿吨每年的数呢，基本还是一个统计性数据。第二呢，在我们生产废水这一块，生产废水这一块呢，因为废水来源比较复杂，有冶金行业，煤化工、石油化工、制药、印染，但是它的那个统计量是应该是不是很精确，大概有700亿吨每年。意味着我们这两种废水加起来呢，我们在中国的每年的这种废水的排放量呢，大概有155亿吨每年这么一个数字，1550亿吨这个数字。然后同时呢，国内有超过25000座这种废水的这个处理厂这一块。刚才我听到那个 Aquamonitrix 那个公司呢，它主要做这个硝酸盐氮这个监测这一块的。其实国内这几年呢，对环保标准这块，尤其对氮要求越来越严格，包括我们的黑臭水体，包括呢我们今年1月1号，就是国家环保部发的这个关于地下水的管理条例的颁布这块呢，它对总氮，包括硝酸盐氮这块都有一个非常严格要求。像北京市一些地方地标这块呢，也只到的硝酸盐氮基本在1.5毫克每升这个数量级上去已经非常低了。我们的公司呢，主要是做两类，一个是做那种工业废水的高盐废水和高有机物废水，第二呢是做垃圾声列处理行业这块，包括一些小型设备这个呢是我拿这个垃圾处理声列行业这个做了一个这个案例来介绍一下， 就是我们因为国内确实是人口量比较大，所以这块呢，我们在声列处理这块，因为声列呢是一种高盐高有机物废水，处理量非常大啊。这块呢，我们每年呢大概能每天呢大概有个29.6万吨每天处理量啊。然后呢，包括刚才我们那个 Techlex 那个公司吧 ，Techlex 那个公司的它的那种超声波或者是这种这种就用于这个反那个罐体内部的这个水位监测的东西啊，我们都是用得着的，在这个行业里面。第二部分呢，我介绍2个产品推广案例。第一个呢是一个在和日本企业合作的，当时呢我们是相当于是供货商嘛，我是一个设备集成商，然后呢 OHR 的包机器呢是一种供货产品。我们在使用过程中呢，发现它这个产品呢具有这个免维护性，同时呢就说这个这个包机的冲氧效率非常高。后来呢，我们主动的跟 OHR 公司呢做一个谈判之后，因为我们觉得这个产品呢确实能从节能方面，相比于这个塑料爆气和这种微孔爆气呢效果好很多，而从安装难度这块呢也比较简单一点，所以相当于我们跟 OHR 公司呢合作了3年，帮他做这个产品的推广应用，包括一些工程化的东西，因为他当时进中国的时候，他这个其实他的整个工程化的这个系统做的还并不完善。我们这几年之间呢，帮他们在印染呀、焦化呀，包括垃圾声列处理这块呢，推广100多个项目这依据它这个产品的这个特性来做的。第二个呢，是我们做的目前跟德国的曼胡摩尔公司，然后正在做了一个它这种叫柔性平板膜的这么一个产品因为它这个产品呢，我们主要定位呢处于在这个市政污水处理厂的体表改造，包括现在国内呢做污水处理厂，我们传统的 A 方或者这种氧化镉工艺呢，基本在这种地下水厂呢都已经不能应用了，现在基本都用的是这种 MBR 工艺。这个工艺呢，就是我们当时跟德国企业在谈判的时候，他发现它的优点是什么呢？就它是这种可修复的膜它这种优点呢，就是独一无二的，在所有的膜产品里面。所以这块呢，就是我们把它作为一个这个切入点来做一个产品推销切入点，同时呢，帮它进行一个模块化设计让它把膜产品、膜架，包括整个这个控制系统这块提升为一个单独产品，然后以产品化形式来带动以装备化形式来带动产品销售。目前来说，我们在这个项目，我们这个产品呢，我们合作不到1年时间吧。这在目前来说，我们在国内已经做了有4个项目，大概总产值在2000万人民币左右。但实际上的话，这个产品的这个可推广性非常强。如果说我们再进一步，我们目前还在进一步在谈判包括一些新的项目这块呢，预计光这个产品的话，1年的这个整个销售额大概应该到5000万到8000万的水平上去。好，谢谢主持人，我把公司这个污水处理行业和这个产品介绍、推广介绍出来，给领导介绍一下，谢谢。
谢谢你的分享。Thank you for sharing. And I believe we do not have any further speakers. We are already running late, but I believe we still, if our companies are interested, can have a slot for some free sharing. Some remarks and comments have been made to Sonitus, to Techlic, to Aquamonitrix, and also other companies. I don't know if our Irish companies are still interested in giving your counter remarks and comments. I also then invite our attendees to post your questions in the Q&A session, or let me know if you want to turn on your camera and speak directly with our panelists. If there are no questions or further comments, I believe we are about to close our session today. I thank very much again for all our panelists and speakers. Today's roadshow served as only a teaser for the activities that we are organizing in the near future. At the EU SME Centre, together with our partner from Enterprise Ireland, we are happy to constantly provide to our Irish companies support and information sharing, as well as connecting you with our institutions and companies from the Chinese end. I also would like to thank again our participants and speakers, the Deputy Director Zhuang Jia from China Science Technology Exchange Center for joining us, and as well as your support for today's session. And also our partner from Asian Matters, Martin and Gerard. Thanks again, and I believe we can close today's session for our Chinese companies. Last but not least, should you want to get in touch directly with Irish companies, please take a look at the contact information shared in the chat box. You can also get in touch directly with Enterprise Ireland or us at the EU SME Centre to get in touch directly with our Irish Cleantech companies. Thank you very much, and wish you all a good day and evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Lim. Bye-bye.